Prince Harry he says he's proud of Meghan. Who else is going to endorse? Who else is Prince Harry going to endorse if he doesn't endorse his own wife? I just thought about it and I thought to myself, yeah, it's true. In all of this promotion that Meghan has been doing for her brand as ever, we literally heard from everyone, but we haven't heard what Prince Harry has to say. Not that we have to, but it's just nice if he adds his voice to the conversation, and he has gone ahead and done that now. Of course, he says he is proud of Meghan, and the Daily Mail is stalking her office like they're auditioning for CSI Montecito. Like, what is going on? Are these people all right? My goodness. You really can't make this stuff up. You really can't. To see the extent to which this British media will go to, just to see what they can do to gain control of the Sussexes. Like, it's no wonder Prince Harry needs his security. Like, even if he didn't need, and we knew he did need his security in the UK, but assuming that it was just an American situation, no wonder he now needs his security. Goodness me, they are going crazy because they can't get control of the Sussexes. And I love it for them. This is exactly what they asked for, and this is exactly what they're going to get. Hey everyone, I know I just started talking and talking without saying hello to you guys. It's just because the news, rather. I use every time you look at the news, read through the news, gather information to share with you guys. I always think I've seen it all, and then I see something more ridiculous than I thought I would ever see in the news. Welcome back to Isabella Banks YouTube channel. I'm Wizzy, and it is a pleasure to be here with you this evening. How are you all doing? How was your weekend? Hope you had a good time. Um, so, let's get into the conversation today, shall we? So, Prince Harry has finally broken his silence about Meghan's as ever brand. According to People's Magazine, he said, I'm so happy for my wife and I fully support everything she's done and continues to do. There, he says, and just in case you didn't get it the first time, he said, I am incredibly proud. I love the fact that Prince Harry supports his wife so proudly. He says, and his love is just where he just wears his feelings on his sleeve, and his love is just for Meghan is just so loud. Full diaphragm loud, like 100 right now. It's full husband mode activated 1000%. Guess who would never? William. And King Charles would never try. That's why you've got King Prince Charles and the Lady Diana's photograph on the screen right now. You know he would never try. And I'm sure he was looking at her like this most times because he just didn't have a clue how to handle someone who was more than just averagely talented. Uh, let's not that brand new. Charles and Diana, that was Titanic level crash. And one iceberg was definitely Diana's popularity. The man was out here choking on his ego every time she waved at the crowd. Just look at him. And do you know what? It wasn't even hidden as well. If you look at most of the photographs with Charles and Diana, especially in the later years, he did not even hide his jealousy, his envy, his irritation. He, d- I think he does a better job of hiding it now, and he's still doing a bad job of it, even with Camilla, than he did with Diana. But poor Diana, soppily in love with him. Isn't it the worst thing that you go and you marry someone and that person turns out to be your worst nightmare? It's almost like, how did I do this? Because when you come to the tail end of the relationship and then you're looking at the person like, how did I ever say yes to you? Before we continue, if this is your first time on this channel, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and leave a comment or two in the comment section. If you have visited before and you haven't yet subscribed, what are you waiting on? Let today be the day you decide to subscribe. For all those who have been rocking with me from the beginning, thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section and also hit the like button. Speaking of ego, guess who crawled out from under the press pit to throw shade at Meghan? Caroline. Yes, if that name sounds familiar, you would not be mistaken. It's Caroline. I'm going to live next door to your father so I can get information on your family, Graham. That one. Yeah. She literally went to Meghan's business address like it was Area 51. Sis packed her notebook and her pettiness. Of course, we know that the article itself was not really an article, it was a means of beating Meghan down. Let's I won't even take the time to go into the details of the article, but I will summarize by saying that the article went on about how unimpressive the building was. It's near a motel, there's a homeless encampment nearby. Ma'am, it's an office, not a Buckingham Palace gift shop. You don't need chandeliers to sell tea. And besides, have you ever um had a business, start up, and then move into the most expensive building on the block just because they're royal? Of course not. You grow gradually. Am I right? For the people who are into business, you grow gradually. And obviously, your start off is going to be as budget friendly as possible, if that's such a thing, at the scale at which Megan started her business with. And then you go upwards, not just going straight, spending all your money on infrastructure while you're still trying to grow your business. Megan has only done one launch of her business. So why does she have to have the most expensive building on the block? But of course, we're talking about the British media, right? They always have unrealistic expectations when it comes to Harry and Meghan. They're not even asking questions about the businesses of their own people or paying attention. I know that I could be talking about Kate and William and how Kate has rushed to do some PR stunts because people were teasing or mocking her for going on her third holiday this year. But when there's something about my faves, I completely ignore the others. So this is the reason why we're talking about Harry and Meghan when there is some fascinating conversation around those people. But basically, just back to what I was talking about, these people, I don't know what they were expecting, but they are shocked that Megan's business address is a normal looking building. This is quite posh, actually, for some startup businesses. This is quite posh. That just goes to show how snobbish these people are. This building that I'm looking at right here is quite posh, but then they say it's drab. It's got an encampment of poor people around it. There's a hotel not too far away from it. Like, where are they expecting it to be? Buckingham Palace? I don't understand. They've left Buckingham Palace. I think the thing is that they can't get over the fact that Harry and Meghan walked away from Buckingham Palace. Well, it's almost like those people who would say, I don't want your money. If your money is Harry and Meghan are like the people who you give a lot of money and then they say, if your money is going to come with XYZ conditions, then I don't want your money. And then people watching them are going to be like, how can you turn that much money down? Well, hello. If your if your conditions are going to make life with the money miserable, then I'd rather not have the money at all. So the people are just like, how can you turn that much money? It was a privilege for them to have accepted you in the first place. How can you turn around and say that you don't want to be in the palace? Because your palaces are drab anyway. It's your palaces that are actually drab, not what I create for myself. Anyway, the Daily Mail itself has been looking sad. If you're looking at and if just going by the description that Prince Harry gave in Spare, most of these palaces are drafty, they're cold. Even the food is just, bearable, even though they call them palace chefs and hoity toity looking names. Um, it's all just, it's all just in Nigeria, they call it a fizzy. It's all just grandstanding, just making yourself look and sound good. I don't know how they managed to do that to convince the rest of the world that they were the best thing ever. Because I don't know whether it's voodoo. I suppose we would have continued to believe that they were the best thing ever if Meghan didn't come along and the whole situation happened where they showed themselves up and she had to step away. But let's be honest, the article that Caroline Graham wrote, it was not journalism. I'm not even going to bother you with the link to that article because it was just snark from top to bottom. Oh, this was an attempted takedown, another attempted takedown. They hate the fact that they keep predicting that Harry and Meghan keep proving them wrong because they put out this narrative in the papers. Oh, Harry and Meghan are failing in America. And then Meghan does a docu series and it's in the top 10 on Netflix. And then she launches her products and it's sold out in less than 1 hour. And then she's doing her what's it called? She's doing her podcast now. She's launching, should I say, deploying the launch of her podcast now. And the podcast is doing incredibly well. Even the owners of Lemonada are so excited by the numbers that the Confessions of a Female Founder are bringing in. I have watched episode 2 now. Have you? I loved episode 2. It just seemed like they were able to touch much more topics, and maybe it's that she has more of a relationship with this lady, but it just seemed to be a lot more connectivity. I don't know. What are your thoughts? We'll have a conversation about it in full on Saturday, where I'll be discussing with breaking it all down with someone and picking out the lessons that we can all learn from it. But not to give you a spoiler, but one of the greatest things, which seems to be a running theme through the podcast, and I'll go back to what I was talking about, but just an aside, I don't want to forget it, is the fact that we're rushing at breakneck speed to try and achieve XYZ goal. I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this. And then we don't realize that we are so focused on the goal, the thing, the money, the house, the husband, the child, whatever. And we don't really have a reasonable work life balance. We don't really take a lot of people like myself. Like we're always going at full speed all the time, not really taking the time to, like, you know what? I really don't have to do, I really need to take XYZ amount of time for myself so that I can do this, because one of the things that you can never get back is time. Well, if you put 100% of your time into just pursuing the business, pursuing the family, then the experiences that you're supposed to be having at this time in your life, you miss them because you're so focused on everything else but yourself. That's one of the best things that I got from the podcast. Anyway, just going back to this conversation, while these people are here playing building inspector, Harry and Meghan are doing what? They are building legacy. I can't wait for the time when Harry and Meghan will be so big that they overshadow the British media. Then we won't be reporting to you. We won't even be referring to the Daily Mail. We will be referring to like the Financial Times if we want to keep up with what Harry and Meghan are doing. But purely American media or international media if they go away on trips. Like they grow so big that they cannot be touched by British media anymore, that we don't even care what the British media are saying. Right now, we just keep an eye on what the British media are saying because we need to know how to support them since they are in the process of building themselves up. And we're trying to make sure that what the British media are doing does not overpower what Harry and Meghan are doing. But I can't wait for the time where they grow so big that it doesn't matter what the British media are saying. Nobody cares what the British media are saying. And that would be the goal. That would be fantastic. Like, okay, give look for instance at I don't know who, Bill Gates, for instance. You can say there have been scandals about Bill Gates. The media has talked and talked and talked, but guess what? Nobody can do a thing to him. Okay, look at Beyonce and Jay-Z. They came after I know that they came after them just the other time, and it was almost successful if they didn't have a pit bull of a lawyer going after all those people spreading rumors. Whether it's true or not is not the issue. Whether it's true or not is not the issue, but what remains true is that even before these particular rumors were floated by the Jaguarites of this world, there have been rumors since the beginning of Beyonce's career. But because she was such a huge, after a while, she became such a huge star, she wasn't even giving interviews anymore. It wasn't necessary. That's what I'm talking about. For Harry and Meghan to get to the point where whatever the media wants to say, they can say, but they can't touch them anymore. I think, I don't know where and what needs to happen for that to be Harry and Meghan's reality. Oh, Kevin, thank you so much for your donation. These derangers are stalkers who are obsessed with Meghan and they are dangerous. Harry and Meghan need to up their security. Can you imagine going to an empty building because you want to take photographs of the building? You're printing you're printing the address of the building. I don't know what you're hoping to achieve from doing that, whether you are trying to invite all the derangers like yourselves to the building, and then you're putting it in a newspaper. You are telling everyone that you are stalking, like you are doing a diary of yourself, stalking a couple who are not looking at you, they're not talking to you, they're putting their head down, trying to get their business done. This is the reason why, I still feel like it's very necessary for me to continue with my goal of doing the UN, filing the UN petition, because this is one of the things that will take us one step closer to actually getting the Levinson 2 inquiry restarted and for there to be reform in the British media. Anyway, but that is an ongoing fight. Let's see what we will be able to do to change the modus operandi of how the British media operates. But yeah, they are right now in crazyville. The tabloids, they want glamour, and Meghan gave them affordability, accessibility, hibiscus tea with a hint of class. And I think it's too normal for them. They want scandal, they want some bit of news to come out about Harry and Meghan, just the way Santa Bale did, so that they can use it as um, a bastion to hit Harry and Meghan hard on the head. Let them, anyway, they can call the building drab, but that's what it takes when you're building a legacy. Am I right? If you've ever had a business before, you're not going to start off with the most glamorous building on the streets. Anyway, um, let me look at your comments. Lorna says it's a pickup building for mail. I don't think Megan goes there. Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. I don't think um Megan, I think it's like a virtual office where you get your mail sent, or like a PO box where you get your mail sent and then it's forwarded to your home address. I don't think it's their actual business. That's not where the business. Why would they even want to go to the building where their business was being um, where they're manufacturing their products? What are you expecting to see? Megan didn't tell you she had a shop. So if you're going to the building, because the article says when you go to the building, there's hardly anybody going in and out, and the shelves look like they're empty. So Megan never said she had a shop anywhere. She's got an online business. So that means that there is a fulfillment center somewhere where they take the orders and then the products are distributed to the customers. That makes sense to everybody else but the British media, apparently. Time and time again, they keep making fools of themselves. And I think the problem is that they're just a source of irritation for Harry and Meghan. So this is why I'm really praying that Harry and Meghan get big enough that we don't even have to refer to the British media or what they say or think any longer. Um, Anyone who gives information for money will never work in their chosen field again. Yep. That area of California is interconnected. Everyone knows everyone. That's why Megan's ex keeps his mouth shut. Yep. The police should be called on that stalker for trespassing. This is why I'm shocked. This is the reason why I'm shocked that they actually put the story in a newspaper. Like, were you invited to the building? No. So, how are you going there to say you were uninvited to a place and you went there and you took photographs and then you're reporting about the condition of the building? It's crazy. The Bande's scandal seems to have lost its hype because lawsuits will apply to any of those newspapers for defamation. That scandals did not get the longevity the papers hoped. When you dig a hole, absolutely, absolutely. This is the reason why I said in my last podcast that the papers were served for sure. That's one. And then two, really, if you're looking at the caliber of, well, Prince Harry, who is like the main Prince Harry, and then Prince Cecil, of course, they can't be going back and forward with Sophie in the media. So the only recourse then is to take them to court for anything or any incorrect statements that have been made, aka defamation suits. As for the media, they are also cognizant of the fact that Prince Harry will sue them in a heartbeat. If there's anything wrong that they have said and done in the course of, and they know that Prince Harry's people are watching the news. So, yeah, I love it for them that they put all that effort into trying to make a scandal, and it only lived for what? 1 week. So they were looking for another one by going to look for Megan's business office to see if they can get information about her. They said that there's a Netflix studio close to the building, and then they went to the Netflix studio to ask questions about what happens in this business office, and then the Netflix people didn't give them any reasonable response, and so they got fed up and then they left. So for the person who said that, Lorna, who said everyone knows everyone, the Netflix people knew not to give information about anything related to the building. I'm sure that most people in the area know that Harry and Meghan use that building as their business uh, address as well. Most people, I suppose, because they're in Netflix. Uh, Carlene says Harry is waiting for the commission report before taking legal action. Yeah, I would agree with that. But I would also say, in relation to other things, oh well, that I would also say with regard to the personal aspect in relation to the bullying claims that um Sophie was making, that's personal. And that's the charity commission is not going to look into that. So that's going to be a personal lawsuit between the two of them. And I believe that the reason why we're not hearing any more about it is because papers have been initiated. Kevin, thanks again for your donation. Kevin says these people have a king and queen, a prince and princess right there in the UK, but they can't stop obsessing about what's going on in Montecito. Like, oh my goodness. Yeah, well, the thing is that I, at least today, I have to give them that. They have been talking about Kate's what is it? She took a walk and she's taking part in some program or the other about nature and its healing effects. So we say, um, king and queen, they went to Italy. But the thing is that every time Harry and Meghan do something, or they it is telegraphed around the world, and it easily overshadows whatever it is that any of the others are doing. So I have to give them that. They did try to do something. Kate did try to do a walk past in the hope that that will get telegraphed in the same way anytime that Meghan is doing something gets telegraphed. But unfortunately for her, she doesn't have the horsepower. And so it kind of fell flat. And it fell flat to the left because now people are mocking Kate again. But we'll talk about that in another video. All right, guys, thank you for being here with me this evening. That's all I have for this evening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my updates. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, this is Wheezy signing off. Peace.